another day of the week. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Chasing That Paper presented by VegasInsider.com. Flying solo today, so going to have you in. And it's a little bit quicker than usual. And hey, what a show yesterday. 6-2 overall. Big credit, though, to Ian, who did all the heavy lifting. A 4-0 sweep from Ian, who is red hot to start 2023. So if you're not already, track Ian down on Twitter. Give him a follow. He'll be back on the program on Thursday and Friday, of course, but that's in the future. We're here to talk the present. We got 3 NBA picks, 2 NHL picks today. Before we get into that action, guys, do me a favor. If you're watching on YouTube right now, there's a like button right down there. There's a subscribe button right down there. Give both of them a smash. All right, let's get right into the action here today. We're going to start things off in the NBA down in beautiful Miami, where the Boston Celtics are in town. Now, yesterday, we faded the Boston Celtics. Took the Orlando Magic. What an upset. They won that one. All right, but tonight we will be backing the Boston Celtics. They are a +3 underdog. I like them to cover this number versus the Heat, who are coming off a win versus the Pelicans their last time out. And Miami is a team you want to fade after a win. They are 7-15-3 against the spread after a win this season. No consistency whatsoever from Miami, who are also 5-14-2 against the spread as a home favorite. I don't know if they should be favored in this game. Now, some might be scared about the Celtics being in the second game of a back-to-back. I like them more due to the fact that they're in the second game of a back-to-back because they've been great in this spot. 6-1 against the spread in the second of a back-to-back. Outright wins in all 7 of those games, so they are not impacted by a lack of rest. And you dig into the numbers, and those numbers, offensively at least for the Miami Heat, are ugly. Last 10 games, 28th in the NBA in EFG shooting percentage, dead last in three-point percentage, 24th in points per 100 possessions, 24th in turnover percentage. That's a bad matchup versus a Celtics defense that's been one of the best in the NBA over the last 10 games. Give me the Celtics to bounce back, cover this number, +3. All right, next up, we got the Pacers playing host to the Chicago Bulls. I'm going to take the Bulls to cover the spread, coming in at -1.5 on that line over at BetMGM. Best number of the morning out of the books I looked at. So the Pacers on a serious slide right now. 0-6 since Tyrese Halliburton went out, their best player. 4 double-digit losses among those 6 losses. Not good at all. You dig into the stats. Ugly, ugly stuff here for the Pacers. During that 6-game slide, 30th in EFG shooting percentage, last in three-pointers allowed per game as well. Also 29th in turnover percentage, 28th in opponent EFG percentage. Just brutal wherever you look for the team. The Bulls, meanwhile, they're thriving in many key areas. Last 10 games, top 10 in EFG percentage, turnover percentage, opponent offensive rebounding percentage, points per 100 possessions, free throw attempts to that. The Bulls playing good basketball right now. Also, they're going to be at a rest disadvantage tonight. That's no big deal, though, because they're 6-1 against everyone playing with a rest disadvantage. I like the Bulls to win by at least a bucket. Chicago, -1.5 versus the Pacers. And final NBA pick of the show, we got the Battle of Los Angeles, the Clippers, the Lakers. Big home court advantage for whoever the home team is. I think it's the Lakers here, right? And I like those Lakers. Cover this number, +5 points. They're being undervalued here. Dig into the numbers. For the Clippers, they are really struggling on both ends of the court. Last 10 games, 26 in EFG percentage. Also 28th in opponent EFG percentage and 25th in opponent free throw attempt rate. The Lakers obviously better in each of those areas. And perimeter defense could be the difference in this one. Opponent three-point percentage over the last 10 games. 5th for the Lakers, 25th for the Paperclips. Lakers also, they're playing good basketball right now. And they're on a great run as an underdog. They're being undervalued a lot, including in this game. They are 8-1-1 against the spread in their last 10 games as an underdog. Nice win versus the Grizzlies the other night, keeping it close versus some other good competition. 9-2-1 against the spread in their last 12 games overall. The Lakers playing good basketball. I'd like them to keep this one close, cover the 5 points. All right, next up we move to the ice, and we're going to start things off by backing my team, their team total. The Pittsburgh Penguins, I like them to score over 3.5 goals versus the Florida Panthers tonight, coming in with odds minus 110 on that one. So second game of a back-to-back. We've been saying that a lot on the show so far for the Panthers here, and they've been getting absolutely blasted in this spot. Last 5 games in the second game of a back-to-back, 5, 5, 6, 5, and 4 goals allowed. All losses, by the way, as well. Last 10 games, you dig into the analytics, the Panthers are 28th in expected goals allowed. Pens generating a lot of chances. Last 10 games, they are 4th in high danger chances for, getting a lot of pucks on net, especially when playing at home. And this is a fantastic spot for Pittsburgh's power play. Florida, the second most penalized team in the NHL this season, below average penalty kill. Pittsburgh power play second in high danger chances over the last 10 games. Over 3.5 goals for the Penguins. All right, let's bring it home here. One more pick on the ice. We go to Nashville for this one, where the Winnipeg Jets are in town. Give me the Jets to win this game, coming in at minus 115. So you dig into the analytics here. Big edge for Winnipeg. Corsi percentage over the last 10 games, 7th versus 26 in favor of the Jets. Also 5th versus 22nd in expected goals for percentage. Predators allowing a lot of action on their own net. Not helping their goalies out at all. Last 10 games, 30th in shots allowed, 26 in high danger chances allowed. And hey, what do you know? Jets capitalizing on high danger chances. Last 10 games, near the top of the league in high danger goals and high danger goal percentage. Give me the Jets. Minus 115 tonight in beautiful Nashville. Woo. A little dry today. That's how it goes when you do these shows by yourself sometimes. Okay, guys, 5 total picks. If you're looking to back any of the action, if you're looking to fade, the choice, quite simply, is yours. I recommend placing your action over at BetMGM, the king of sports books. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Sign up with BetMGM using bonus code VIBONUS. That's a VI bonus. And your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. That's VI bonus, all one word, no spaces. And your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 or older. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Indeed. Indeed. Okay, guys, we'll take a little break from talking NFL. I'm sure we'll be talking about the rest of the week. Let's take a look at the NBA futures odds board. A lot of parity. I think it's a real toss-up in regards to who's going to win the NBA championship this season. You take a look at the top of the odds board. You can't really argue too much with the Celtics being the favorite there at plus 390. You know, good win by them versus the Warriors in overtime the other night. I think the Bucks, you know, a bit up and down season for them so far. Of course, Chris Middleton was out in the playoffs for them last year. They got him back in the lineup. So maybe they can put it together. That team hasn't fully peaked yet. I still think that number's too high for the Nets. Plus 800. There's always something with this team. It's not always their fault. You know, a lot of injuries. Kevin Durant's out of the lineup right now. You got to assume Kyrie's going to go down at some point. What's to say they're both going to be there come playoff time? Big risk there. I don't mind the Nuggets. 8-1. Jokic looking like an MVP. Again, the Warriors, maybe you could argue this is a good value point for them. You know, they've been really bad on the road throughout the regular season, but over the course of that dynasty, if you want to call them that, they haven't really been a team that cares too much about the regular season. You know what I mean? The Grizzlies 10-1. Who wants to play them in a playoff series. I could see the Grizzlies going all the way, so 10-1, not a bad number on them. The Clippers, don't waste your money, guys. No continuity whatsoever with this team. A different lineup every night. You ever look at an injury report for the Clippers on a game day? It's a disaster. And I think that is what bites them. That's going to be the story of the Kawhi Leonard and Paul George Clippers is continuity. A different lineup every night. It's going to come back to bite them once again. In the playoffs, the Suns, I think their championship window is closed. When your best player goes out and you automatically turn into one of the worst teams in the league, I don't think that's a good sign. Not a lot of depth for those Phoenix Suns. The Sixers, good regular season team. Sure, but do you really trust Doc Rivers and James Harden in a tight spot in the playoffs? I absolutely do not. Cavaliers, probably a year away, I think, from being considered a serious contender. Pelicans, don't waste your money. Good team, yes, but look at their best two players. How many games have those guys played this season? Ingram and Zion. Zion's a fantastic talent. He's never on the court. It's a concern. The Mavericks, often the best player on the court whenever they play with Luka. Does he have enough support? And that brings me to the final two teams on this list. I think that each of those teams are being undervalued, and I do think that we're sleeping on them just a little bit. You know, you have the Miami Heat there, 36-1. This is the same Miami Heat team, the exact same roster pretty much, that took the Celtics to Game 7 of the East Finals last year. I think it's clear for the Miami Heat that they're a team that really doesn't care too much about the regular season either. They just want to, avoid the play-in, get into the playoffs. Currently 6th in the East. Maybe they can gain some ground post All-Star. And, not a consistent team during the regular season at all. They haven't been totally healthy this season. You ever see their injury report before a game? It's brutal. No one wants to play them in a 7-game series. When they're playing good defense, one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. Very gritty. They win ugly, like the New York Giants, right? And then, hey, here's a controversial one maybe, and probably a lot of people will disagree with me on this one. But the Lakers at 48-1, the Lakers aren't the laughing stock that they were to open the season. The Lakers are playing really good basketball right now. So the Lakers got off to just an awful start. 2-10. I don't know if you want to give them a little bit of a pass for that, a new head coach, Russell Westbrook stuff, the continuity. But yeah, that was a brutal start, 2-10. Since then, however, they've gone 20-15. That's a win percentage of .571. Now, if they were playing at that pace all season, that would currently have them at 4th place in the Western Conference. And they've done a lot of that without Anthony Davis, who's set to come back. And I know we like to pick on Anthony Davis, but we got to be fair, guys. He was playing pretty damn good before he went out. And obviously there's no guarantee that he's going to be there for the rest of the regular season. His bones are like chalk, for God's sakes. But who knows? Maybe the Lakers have a few more moves to make. I do think that there's a chance that 2 months from now, we might be talking about the Lakers as a legit contender in the Western Conference, 20-15 over their last 35 games. That's pretty good basketball and a pretty tough conference, right? Now, the big thing to overcome for the Lakers is, of course, they're in 12th place in the Western Conference. So if the season ended today, they wouldn't even be in the play-in. But I do think if they can maintain this pace, they got to add some sort of a three-point shooter, a guy that can add consistently 15 points or something to the lineup. The rotation is at least one guy short. So, yeah, there are some improvements to make if they can stay healthy, which is the big question mark for any team. But I think the Lakers can find themselves in the mix. LeBron James still very much one of the best players in the NBA. Now, we put a poll out on the Vegas Insider Twitter feed this morning asking you guys if you think the Lakers can get into the playoffs. 56.8% of the people say no. So in this instance, I guess we'll call the playoffs the play-in. Does the play-in, if you qualify for the play-in, does that qualify as making the playoffs? Or should you have to be in the top 8? I don't know. But either way, you take a look at what's ahead of the Lakers. They are one game behind the OKC Thunder. Then, of course, you have the Golden State Warriors and the Timberwolves, who are a complete and total disgrace and disappointment. Great showing, Timberwolves, versus the worst team in the league last night, the Houston Rockets. That was absolutely brutal. The Suns are completely falling apart. The Jazz better than people expected. So, yeah, the Lakers to get in, I mean, if they keep playing at that pace that they've been at for the last 35 games, they're going to get in. But there's still a lot of teams that they got to leapfrog here. You got to wonder about teams at the top of the West. Who had the Sacramento Kings at third in the Western Conference at this point of the season? Also, the Pelicans. I mean, they're 3-7 in their last 10 games. I think all those missed games from Zion and Ingram might come back to bite them. Who knows about the Nuggets? You know, they got the best record in the conference, 702 win percentage. I don't know. They kind of give off vibes of a great regular season team who lets you down in the playoffs, like the Buffalo Bills, potentially, right? So, yeah, the NBA is great. Like, yeah, you can make a good case the Celtics do deserve to be favored here, but what was it, plus 350 for them to win the NBA Finals? Do you really want to lay that at this point of the season? You're better off waiting, I think. But a couple of those longer shot ones, you know, maybe this is the buy now spot for the Golden State Warriors. When they're clicking, nobody clicks like the Golden State Warriors, right? So, yeah, it's from a competitiveness standpoint, it has been a great season here for the NBA. They got to cut the bullshit with the load management and injury management. They call it injury management now. That's the PR-friendly terminology. Let's go with that. Indeed. All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Vegas Insider app right now. The Vegas Insider app gives you all the major sports betting odds at your fingertips, along with picks and expert breakdowns. You can shop for the best odds, find props, features, and plenty more with the app. If you want more Vegas Insider content like our shows, videos, and podcasts, you can find it all on the app in the media section. Download the Vegas Insider app on Apple or Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. Indeed.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
All right, very active live chat today. A shout out to Jigglypuff, Savvy Vivo, and there, Nate Collison as well. Producer Tito lending some commentary as well. Usually if Tito has a recommendation for a bet, your best bet is to immediately go to a sports book and fade that pick that he gives out. Now, credit to Tito, he did hit on Travis Kelce over receptions. That was easily. He doesn't have to like it, but I call it like it is. Okay, guys, let's take a look at some viewer pick submissions here that we put out on Twitter. Quite a few submissions there this morning. Didn't have the opportunity to get to all of them. So he gave us a funny one yesterday. Nathan Schreckengoss, I think it was the Blue Jackets first period under team total. Hit that. And he's throwing out another one now. The Montreal Canadiens first period team total under half a goal. So basically, Montreal not to score in the first period. Get that at odds of minus 110. Montreal's gone scoreless in the first in 11 of their last 12 home games. Boston ranks top 10 in expected goals allowed, high danger chances allowed, shots against, and save percentage over the last 10 games in 5-on-5 play. Boston has held Montreal down, allowing 2 goals per over the last 12 matchups, and that kept Montreal scoreless in 4 of the last 5 games in the first. Good look there from Nathan. Okay. Next up, Matty Puppy Sports, our trend better. He gets quite a few of these. Some people are against trends, but, you know, there's more than one way to get to the finish line. I always think if you have the stats to support a trend, then have at it. So he likes Clemson minus 10.5 versus Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech has lost 5 in a row while going just 1-4 ATS during that span. Each of the past 3 losses have been by 11 or more points. Georgia Tech has already faced Clemson once this season, losing by a 79-66 score at home. It won't get any better at Clemson. All right, Clemson has a double-digit favorite there. Go Tigers. Betting Benny, he likes the Buffalo Sabres money line. I took a look at this one as well. Plus money, plus 120. Offensive mismatch in the last 10. And over the whole season, 6th versus 31st in Corsi 4 percentage last 10. 3rd versus 30th in expected goals 4. In the last 10, Sabres 3.8 goals per game. 2nd overall, Blues 3.5 goals. 25th for the full season. Sabres a respectable 13-7-1 on the road too. Yeah, you dig into the analytics, the Blues are absolutely one of the worst teams in the NHL. They were able to win last season despite that. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the season for them. But yeah, I don't like the St. Louis Blues. Sabres worth a shot as a dog, 100%. Now here's one that we needed to give a shot to. Usually, people submitting picks fading the Blackhawks, taking the over on the other team's team total, the puck line in regulation. But this is supporting the Blackhawks on the road. A plus 185 dog here. Canucks have had an emotional week. New coach who's labeled the villain now. Great value against a dejected Vancouver team. So yeah, not a stat handicap by any means. Just more of a game situation. Yeah, maybe worth a roll of the dice there. Why not? Chicago Blackhawks, plus 185. Good luck to our guy Josh, who's in on that one. I think one more here, potentially. Captain Axe's Locks, some college hoops. Keep bringing them here. Syracuse, UNC over 150, minus 110. Syracuse is 12-1 to the over in their last 13 games and have hit 8 straight overs! Exclamation mark. All caps as well. Meanwhile, UNC 2-2 over-under when playing on the road this season. Maybe not worth mentioning that line, but 2-3 zone opens up offensive rebounds off misses. Good analysis there. UNC's DNA. Syracuse ACC home games 3-1 when the total is at 150. I'm guessing he means 3-1 to the over. Yeah, good luck, Captain Axe's Locks. Give that guy a follow. Okay, guys, in and out in about 20 minutes today. Before I send you off, though, let me tell you about today's Handicapper Heat Check presented by VegasInsider.com. Your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. Today's featured expert is Bill Marzano, who is 14-4 across all sports over the last 3 days and is on a perfect 5-0 NHL win streak. Also, Will Rogers nailed 9 straight college hoops winners, and Bruce Marshall had a 6-1 college hoops record yesterday. Visit VegasInsider.com/picks. That's VegasInsider.com/picks for tonight's best bets. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, bettors.
Woo!
Indeed. That's a Tuesday show. These ones usually go a little bit quicker for us. Okay, going to be back tomorrow, though. Kevin Rogers will be with me, adding his 2 cents to his favorite plays in college basketball. I'll have my usual handful of NBA and NHL. Then later on in the week, Ian will be back on Thursday and Friday, the big Friday NFL show. Already circled a couple winners. Already made a couple, hopefully winners, and made a couple bets here for the conference championship round. All right, guys, that does it for today. Best of luck with your bets tonight, unless, of course, you are fading me. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Woo!